Welcome, witches, to today's video, which is going to be our mid-year book freakout. This is a tag video people do every year. I'm not sure who originally started this. I made my first one 2023, so a couple years ago, and I'm excited to do another one. This is going to consist of a group of questions, and just for reference, I have read 61 books so far this year, and I will be picking from those 61 books. Let's start with the first question, the best book you have read so far in 2025. That would hands down be Good Girls Don't Die by Christina Henry. This is a thriller, so three women are stuck in very classic book tropes. Celia's stuck in a murder mystery, Allie's stuck in a closed circle slasher, and Maggie is stuck in a Hunger Maze Runner game. This takes all the best parts of those classic tropes and puts them into a book. This is fast-paced, it's engaging. I really enjoyed it and how it all comes together at the end. She did a fantastic job. I really enjoyed this book and I would recommend. This is listed as a horror. I think it's a good intro between a thriller and a horror into that genre. Really well executed, really fast paced, really enjoyable, and go check that one out. The second question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2025, and that would be Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I've actually read this entire series this year. So good. This is part of the Arc of Scythe series. That is a tongue twister for me. Citra and Rowan, they are Scythe apprentices in the first ones because they stood up to a particular Scythe. Now the series, you are following them because this is a world of utopia. They've defeated death. There's the Thunderhead, which is like the AI of the world, who make sure everybody's happy, everything is perfect. However, there are these Scythes who go around and they kill people for population control. However, the Scythe kingdom is becoming very corrupted and in chaos, and this is just following that journey as the Thunderhead becomes more aware. This is a fantastic series. The world building is fantastic. The character building is done well. This was a very well executed series, and I would highly recommend. Next question is a new release you haven't read but want to. The 10th in the Wayward Children series by Shauna McGuire. Adrift Occurrence, Clean and Clear. This is about a world of kids who have found these doorways and gone to other realms, and then they come back. They are changed and they want to get back to these worlds that just fit them better. They are really struggling in the real world, and they go to a place for wayward children, following their stories as they are going on these adventures and they're going in these other realms, and you're developing more relationships with these characters. They're really short novella series, so they're quick, they're easy reads. They're the right amount of magical. It's done splendidly, and I would really recommend that series. My favorite is actually In an Absent Dream. Fantastic series, highly recommend. The next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, which would be The Bewitching by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. She has a fabulous atmospheric writing. For example, Mexican Gothic, the vibes of this creepy haunted house, this low ear, it's not an in your face, it's just like a creep to your bones. She does such a fantastic job. This one is listed as three women in three different eras encounter danger and witchcraft in this eerie multi-generational horror saga. So really hoping for the undercurrent of magic and creepiness and haunting that I know Sylvia Moreno Garcia can do so well. The biggest disappointment of the year is no doubt Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan. This was a non-well executed book. The characters were awful. Riley Rhodes is a curse breaker. She wants to monetize it. She goes to Scotland to break the curse on a very old Scottish castle. Then enters Clark. He's this archaeologist. He's doing an archaeological dig at the same Scottish castle. Riley meets Clark the night before. There's an instant attraction between these two. She gives him his business card. They all know who each other are. But despite that, on the first day, he tries to get her fired. She is mad, but glosses over it. They are trying to break this curse. He doesn't believe in it, but yet he's falling for her. They do things for the sake of the curse, like be intimate, etc. That feels very awkward. It really takes away from their relationship, their authenticness. They all really just gloss over some of the really horrible things that they do to each other. I like the idea of a curse breaker, all of that, but the storyline and plot, everything was there. It was just very poorly executed, and I think there could have been a better way to do this. This one was just not it. My biggest surprise would be Men Have Called Her Crazy by Anna Marie Tendler. I have been really enjoying biography memoirs, and this one just really surprised me. I loved the title of this book, which is what kind of drew me to it. I didn't know who Anna Marie Tendler was. However, I didn't realize how much I was just going to be engrossed in her story, invested in her story. I wanted to know more. I was Googling all about her, like trying to find interviews and just know her more as a person because I was really invested in her story and her experience. Learning more, there's so much more about this that maybe she was blocked due to NDAs and stuff about talking about that would have just added so much more depth and context to her story. But yeah, this was really good and I would really check this out. The next one is new favorite author, whether that's a debut or new to you. And I'm going to go with a new to me. He's not a debut author, but Neil Shusterman. So again, the Scythe series, the Arc of Scythe series. I think he did a fantastic job with world building, with character building. The books never got old or boring. The story paced well. There was a definite added element to each book as opposed to one story just dragging on through three. It really felt like the stakes kept getting higher. There was new stakes. There was new things going on. It never got dull. I'm excited to see what else he has and read maybe some of his backlist or anything new coming out. But yes, this was a fabulous series. The next question is going to be your new favorite character, which for me would be Jay Daniels from the My Heart is a Chainsaw or the Indian Lake trilogy by Stephen Graham Jones. She has such a charismatic personality. I just loved everything about her and the way Stephen Graham Jones wrote her evolution through the book, her loss of innocence, her just like coming to reality. He did it in a way that he did not tell you. He wrote it into the story and you see it, you feel it. He did such a fantastic job with the series, with her. You get invested in her story, in the slasher she's invested in. I just think she was such a fun character and I really liked her. She made the series just stand out for me. A book that made you cry. I don't typically cry during books, but I will go with Radium Girls by Kate Moore. This is a nonfiction about the women who worked with radium during World War I. They ended up developing life-threatening and deadly side effects from the radium they used. They're very much gaslit by these companies telling them that it was safe despite all the evidence to the contrary. It was definitely heart-wrenching. It was a very sad story. I also enjoy that they included pictures so you can develop even more of a connection to the characters. Definitely say that this was the most kind of sad real book that I have read. A book that makes you happy is a reread and also one of my favorites, but The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I love the vibes of this book. The characters, Linus and Arthur and Theo and Lucy and Sal, all of them. He has such a way with character writing. He does a fantastic job in this. There's the perfect amount of magic coming together, a message behind this of, not judging people by stereotypes or by their cover. I think that this has such a great message to it. The characters are so great. There's this great world that they're building and so much love that Arthur and them are building for these kids. Just think it was really fantastic. Really, I think any of TJ Klune's books have really great character development. You get invested in these characters. There's no way you're not going to love these stories. Highly recommend any TJ Klune books, really, but this one may be one of my favorites. The next one is the most beautiful cover of a book you've bought this year, which would be Rebel Witch. I think this cover is stunning. I do really enjoy this duology by Kristen Cicerelli. This is following Gideon and Rune as they're trying to fight the Republic and the Reign of Witches. Only thing I am annoyed about, I bought the first one off Book of the Month, and then the second one was not offered on Book of the Month, which is fine. I bought through Barnes & Nobles. However, they're both hardback, but they're different sizes, and that just drives me nuts. But they actually both have beautiful covers, so this would definitely be my favorite cover of a book I've bought so far this year. The last question is books you want to read before the end of the year. I have an entire series called 25 in 2025 where I'm trying to read a selection of 25 books by the end of the year. I'll put the ones that are remaining and the ones I've read on the screen, but I do this kind of vlog style, so I'll include that playlist down below or any links to it. So if you want to follow along on that journey, I would love to have you join. I've also just released a summer anticipated release. I'll have that link down below, but that would be a great one of some books in summer, June 22nd to September 23rd, that I'm excited to read. Go check that one out. That is a wrap for the Midyear Book Freakout tag. Thank you for watching, witches. Let me know what you would answer for any of these, or if you have any great book recommendations, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, witches.